Okay, so the Embedding BCE project finished, well, we had the dissemination event last December 2009. So really the whole point of me talking today is to bring you up to date on what resources we ended up with, which will be a sort of permanent online resource, and also to talk about any sort of new activities that we are either already involved with or are planning to make available to the sector. So on the Jisc Infinite website, we've got, well, at the moment, Embedding BCE and community engagement is there on our front page. That is likely to change as we produce new materials, but for the moment, that it gives another way in, a very sort of visible way into the resource. The usual way into the resource is through the InfoKits tab. So if I can go in that way, then we've got a whole alphabetical list of our InfoKits, our online resources. So I'll just go into Embedding business and community engagement that way. So this is like a front page before we actually get into the InfoKit itself. The online resource now is a full InfoKit which shows both the methodology of the process review that we undertook in the institutional partners, and also talks about some of the issues and common barriers that we found. And if you put those together for any institution that's wanting to review the way that it supports business and community engagement by its practitioners, then we've not only got a methodology for doing that, but we have got some of the issues that they can test for to see whether or not they exist in their own institution. So it gives them some examples of things to look at as well. The other side to the resource is this workbook here. And that's downloadable from the website as a PDF document, and it forms the basis for a half-day workshop whereby people who we take a diagonal cut through the organisation. So we've got people from both high up in the hierarchy, people who are practitioners down below, but also going across the organisation, so that we've got people from both support units, we've got people who are delivering, we've got people who are undertaking applied research, for instance, and the workbook makes a series of statements about the organisation, and then they can grade the organisation onto how well they meet the criterion in there. In a way, the grading isn't the main thing, and in fact, when we did this in the project, a lot of people were arguing, rather than choosing one of the grades from 1 to 4, they were arguing about, is it 2.3, is it 2.4, is it 2.7, and the whole idea of that workshop is to stimulate some conversation so that people sort of discuss, and they identify then the sort of areas within the institution where there is some good practice, and with a view to them being able to disseminate that across the institution. It wouldn't come as any surprise to know that one of the big issues for any organisation is internal communications. So it gives them a chance to identify some areas of good practice, and then to put some sort of opportunities for communication of that and dissemination of it, so that we spread that good practice across the institution. So within that workshop, people will identify strengths, and they will identify some areas for possible improvement or potential improvement. Some of those, they will have also identified some people within the institution who are already doing this quite well. So there's an opportunity there to identify some people who can be champions, if you like, for potential development in there. The InfoKit itself, if we go into that, both the workbook and the project itself operated under a number of topical headings. So we had policy and strategy, processes and systems. That was a large area, so we've broken it down into central coordinating units, finance, IT, information systems, development of information systems, policies and communications, facilities management, human resources, and so on. And then the other major topics were partnerships, roles and skills, and performance measurement. In the actual project, we sort of broke performance measurement down into the two areas of customer perceptions and then actual performance measurements, as in the key performance indicators for each of the institutions. So it made sense to structure the InfoKit around those same 6 major headings. So we'd got, when we undertook interviews in the institutions, we made those headings known, and we tried to pull the conversation back to that. The online resource it sort of talks about the way that we undertook the project. So we've got a full methodology, we've got some of the issues and common barriers, and we're hoping to make the case studies that we produced for each of the 5 institutions available at some, hopefully, a near point in the future now. Some of the case studies, I mean, they were quite, quite thick case studies really, where we spoke to 24 people and then had some comments and then had the half-day workshop. So it was, there was quite a bit of reading material there for some of the partners. So it's important to have a sort of short executive summary for people who just want a sort of quick fix or to get the major issues out there. So the project's finished. We had a very good sort of dissemination day. We got some good feedback from that, and people went away seemingly enthused by the project. So where do we go from here? One of the things that we've always done at Jisc Infonet is, for our major resources, we've backed them up by a series of one-day workshops, and we've put a one-day workshop together on embedding BCE, which will go through the project, both the methodology and some of the common findings, but also from the audience we'll draw from them what some of their issues are. So hopefully at some point it will bring extra information in that we can perhaps add into the resource at some point. Those days are likely to bring together people from different institutions, and we've started to work with or through the Jisc regional support centres. Once we've got the ball rolling a little bit, we'll stimulate some interest, and as the RSCs come together to talk, then that will stimulate some more workshops for the next academic year. The other thing that we've been doing is offering our support or facilitation for people to undertake their own review. One of the things that came out of some of the reviews, people said they would not have had such open conversations with people had it been somebody from within the institution who was doing the interviews. So because we were outsiders, we were able to, people felt that they could sort of say things that they would have felt challenged saying in front of somebody from the same institution. So there's a chance for us to facilitate some of that. The other side of it is there's a chance to facilitate some of the half-day workshops using the workbook, the self-evaluation workbook, so that sort of guided conversation event, if you like. So there are a number of sort of ongoing things that we hope will be a permanent addition to our offering at Jisc Infonet.